everyone. This is Ray Ramos from the Kryptonos and 6x6 Comics, and you're listening to Bigfoot Club podcast.
Hey guys, please go to our website at www.bigfootclubpodcast.com. Check out our merch and all episodes. Also, please look for our social media at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Bigfoot Club 1. That's Bigfoot Club number 1. Also, check out Matt Knapp's Bigfoot Crossroads on YouTube.
Hey everybody, Robert Jesse Dominguez, Bigfoot Club, Season 4, Episode 13. I'm here with...
Steven.
Hey man, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Before we get to our guests today, I wanted to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was released on the 27th, which was Friday. Did you watch it?
I did, both parts.
Yeah, I stayed up pretty late, and I watched it. I started watching like around 12:30, and I finished at around 2:30, and then I went to bed and only slept for like 3 or 4 hours. But
yep, same here. We have it flipped. I went to bed at midnight, and then I woke up at 3.
Yeah,
and then I watched both of them before I got ready for work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just wanted to play this real quick. Because I don't know about you, but I really, really enjoyed it.
Yes.
I just thought it was,
we lost.
Great story. Because like it kind of put Obi-Wan in like a really like a depressing type of like kind of like where he's just like depressed.
Yeah. And I love that actually. I always wondered, because there's got to be more story to it. I always wondered. I go, okay, 3 ends, and then he just stays, and there's got to be something that happens, and they finally did it. They finally, 10 years later, after Revenge of the Sith,
yeah,
there's a story, and it's always been there. It's always been like, what if we did this and what if we did that? I think you and I talked about it. It's like, maybe he fights somebody, because a Jedi like that, like especially like Obi-Wan, never stays put, never turns a blind eye. But on here, you actually see he's been doing that for 10 years, and it's like Dexter, when New Blood, how he just snaps. Well, this one he doesn't snap. He's kind of just brought into this situation where he has to. It's like a calling. He's got to help out. I don't want to say too much. Should we say too much? Like. On it, I don't know. I feel like I would be spoiling it.
Yeah, I guess we should have said that if you haven't watched Obi-Wan, stop the podcast now and go watch it, and then come back and listen to this.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about some stuff on it. So
spoilers. There will be spoilers.
So,
but yeah, like I was saying, I'll finish what I was trying to say is that he's kind of brought into this call to action because Leia, who's 10 years old, both Luke and Leia gets kidnapped.
Yeah, they show Leia mostly on this one. I can't find who was playing her, but she's so like adorable. Yes,
she is very adorable. She's really sold me as a Leia with just her personality. Vivian Lyra Blair.
She's so adorable.
Yeah,
I just want to hug her.
Yeah, she is adorable. She did a great job. They only showed Luke from afar.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because like you already know his story. Let's kind of show something that happens with Leia. And I think it's great. And I think you see a troubled, depressed.
Obi-Wan
giving up hope on everything, even himself. Obi-Wan, pretty much everybody that came out, which what I loved. You had what's his name, Jimmy Smits. Mm-hmm. He came back, and it looks like he just aged 10 years.
Yeah,
the makeup, whatever. You got Ewan McGregor, and then you're eventually going to see Hayden Christensen like kind of redeem himself.
Yeah,
which a lot of people said that he did a terrible job as Darth Vader. Me personally, I remember I was telling you like Tom Welling wanted to go for it.
Yeah,
he really wanted to play Darth Vader, but he was stuck in that contract with WB or CW. I forgot what it was.
It was
and he was been perfect. He was tall. He was big. He could have played it perfect. But Hayden Christensen did a good job. I mean,
Yeah,
he was supposed to play an emotional character, like driven by rage and anger. He did a good job at covering. Most people just, I don't know, they didn't like it because he's not Darth Vader.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, they have a pretty good cast. What's his name? Rupert Friend plays the Grand Inquisitor, and Moses Ingram plays Reva, which I already hate already. And
Third sister.
Yeah, she's doing her job, and then you got Sung Kang playing the fifth brother. There's another one, but I didn't catch her name. There was a female Inquisitor, but I didn't catch her name. But
Yeah,
that's probably me. Someone's gonna probably correct me, but that's okay. But I was looking at this, and Ice Cube's in this, but
and his son.
and his son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm wondering what they're going to be in there. So it's just, but I was super excited about this show, and I was like, because we rarely talk about shows. I mean, we talked about The Mandalorian, we talked about Boba Fett. Those are like really heavy on my heart, and this is another one. So I was actually really excited when this one was coming out, and I was like, oh my God, finally.
Because for a while, there was always that rumor that, hey, Ewan McGregor's talked with Disney and getting Obi-Wan, and he actually lied to us for 10 years.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I don't know anything. I don't know that no one's ever told me anything. That's my impression of Ewan McGregor.
That's for you, Matt.
That's for you, Matt. I don't know anything. They never told me anything. I don't know. Like he was doing that, and we're like, oh man. But in reality, he's like, yeah, we're gonna film it. We're waiting on a time to release.
I think they were waiting for Disney to gain access for everything, and
they were waiting for all that
streaming stuff. So yeah,
so they were waiting for all. They already knew the plan of Disney Plus way ahead, and they, he did a good job. He's an OG for keeping a secret for that long.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
he's good. I mean, I just love that, because again we're on Tatooine again, and he doesn't want to use any of his powers. Because if you think about it, if he does, then the dark side's going to pick up where he's at and figure him out. And so he uses his powers to save Leia, because Leia ends up falling off a rooftop. It kind of, I forgot the name of the planet, but it kind of reminded me of Tokyo a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It really
like a Blade Runner type of thing a little bit. So she falls.
It was raining.
Yeah, it was raining, and so she falls off the roof, and he uses the Force to keep her from going kersplat and stuff. So
yeah,
kersplat. Can I say that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right.
But it was a little foreshadow in the very beginning. It's like she's like, "Make me float. I want to float."
Yeah,
and he had to actually do it to save her.
Yeah,
to prove to her that, because she kept thinking that he was a fake.
You are a Jedi. She kind of reminded me of Sebastian right there.
Yeah, you are a Jedi.
But yeah, it was really good, and like he was trying to get her on this transport, and Reva's like chasing him, and she's like reading it. One thing that kind of bugged me a little bit about the story, and I hate to say that, is that Reva, Moses Ingram, she's part of the Inquisitors, and she's got the Force, right? Okay, right? And so she systematically picks and chooses who she wants to pull, like their brain from, and like you can like get information from someone's weaker than you are. Yeah, in the Force, and she picks and chooses who to do this with, and she doesn't do it with Owens, like she doesn't do it with him.
She had every opportunity to do it there,
but she doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And like whenever she's chasing Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's getting ready to get on this transport, Ewan McGregor sells this part that he doesn't. You realize that he does not know that Anakin's still alive.
Right. That's another thing I thought that was so freaking cool.
Yeah. So she's reading him. She knows he's in like that warehouse, and she's reading him. She goes, "You didn't know. He didn't. He's alive."
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
You know what it reminded me? And you can probably agree with this. Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Exact same scene.
Yeah.
Sister. So you have
a twin sister.
I thought that was great how they did that.
Yeah.
It was like, wow. This is like almost shot for shot.
And so he looked really shocked, and because like in the very beginning, and I know we're going back and forth, but that's okay. But he was having like some night terrors of him fighting Anakin, and Anakin. He was thinking that Anakin had died, and he's like trying to reach out to Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon's going to come on here eventually.
Oh yeah,
so
they're foreshadowing that big time.
So,
he keeps talking to him like, as if he already taught him already. It's
Yeah.
been 10 years,
Yeah.
and Yoda trained him on how to do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing Liam Neeson.
Because you don't like at this point of that story, you don't know whether he's actually reached them or not, or he doesn't want to use the Force. Like I was telling you, that that the dark side's going to find him if he does. So he's kind of like reaching out to Qui-Gon, are you there? And then like kind of gives up a little bit. So
yeah, he doesn't put too much effort into it because he doesn't want to.
But yeah, I was really really happy with this series. I'm hoping that they don't disappoint me and they change it up or something. But I'm really happy where they're going with this. And what's the guy that played Boba Fett? Sorry.
Oh man, I can never pronounce his name.
But he had a little cameo.
Yeah, he's like spell change for. That's my impression of him.
Yeah,
spell change for an old lad or something. I forgot what he said. But I was like, hey, it's what's his face? I thought that was kind of cool. And it's always good to see stormtroopers. I don't know. I get that nostalgic feeling, and I'm pretty sure you do as well.
Yeah.
When you see old school stormtroopers, just being dumb and like, get out of the way, stuff like that. I was like, get out of the way. You can't even shoot anybody. Like
his name is I hate I'm doing this last. Tumra Morrison.
Tumra Morrison. Okay.
Yeah. So, he had a beard and he had like
long
hair and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's one of those clone troopers and stuff. And I kind of liked it how they did like a little cameo there. So,
and then you have Flea.
Oh yeah, Flea was in it.
Flea was in it, and I remember I read somewhere that he always wanted to be in a Star Wars movie, and I think he auditioned. He auditioned to be on one of the news.
Did he have a paper? And
it was a paper. It was like, hey, can I be on Star Wars?
Flea, I want to be in.
Denied. I think he auditioned for like the last 3 Star Wars movies, and they never found a character for him.
Those bitches.
But to be honest with you, this one was better.
Yeah,
I thought it was great. He played a good
I think
side villain. I guess.
I mean, I loved him in like Back to the Future, but I think this role kind of redeemed that.
Yeah, but Back to the Future wasn't bad. You're making it seem like it was bad.
Well, I mean, because like his name was Needles.
Yeah.
Man, his name was Needles, and
what's his name? What here? I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot too, but it was pretty funny.
His character was really like it sold me. That I was like, I remember when I saw him, I was like, "Is that Flea?"
I know. I was watching it at home, and I was sitting on the bed, and I saw it, and I stood up, and I walked to the TV. I go, "Is that fucking Flea?" Sure, the fuck is.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so it was one of those things.
Freaking Red Hot Chili Peppers doing everything.
Man, this is gonna be a long episode.
It is, but you know what? It's okay. And you know what? Cassandra's going to like it.
Yeah, another shout out to Cassandra.
Yeah, another shout out to Cassandra. But yeah, what do you think that they're going to, I guess, it's 6 episodes. We got 4 episodes left. I hate it. I hate
already. I know.
It's like you just gave us a tease of a big tease of a platter that I want to savor.
Well, it's, they already showed Darth Vader at the end of episode 2. So, he's going to confront, I think what they're going to end up doing is like not have him do a lightsaber fight until he fights, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would do.
Because he's still scared. Like you can see, like he was looking at his lightsaber. He's like, man, I don't want to use this.
Yeah.
I don't want to. But he's going to eventually do it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing too, like I read somewhere that they might do some more cameos on this one too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if those cameos are going to help him.
Yeah, because I kind of think if he's going to fight Darth Vader, it's not going to be on Tatooine. It's not going to be on Tatooine. It's got to be somewhere else because he can't give up that planet to know where Luke's at.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not going to be on Tatooine. It's going to be
somewhere else.
It's probably going to be on the Death Star again, maybe,
or
somewhere else. Because he said, remember, a lot of people were saying like he doesn't fight Darth Vader until the New Hope, but whenever it was right there all along, he's like, when I left you, I was but the learner.
Yeah,
like,
he's still learning from him. Yeah,
yeah. So now I'm the master. So it means when they last fought, Obi-Wan left him.
Yeah,
I was like, but Darth Vader's like, when I left you, I was but the learner. Like, so that means he like chickened out or he was too weakened.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan like kicks his ass again, and then he leaves.
Man, I wonder if they're gonna bring back Maul. Darth Maul.
See, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, if they're gonna do that, but I don't think he fights them older.
Obi-Wan, yeah.
So hopefully they'll do a continuation on that. Because I still think when they say limited series, I got kind of upset. I was like, really? There's so much story to tell with Obi-Wan. But I think I was going to tell you. This is what I was going to tell you. I think Ahsoka's going to show up.
Okay,
and I think they team up and they fight Darth Vader.
Wow.
Because you have the master facing his apprentice and an apprentice facing his master.
Yeah.
Hands down, I bet you that's what's going to happen.
She's gonna be a young one.
She's going to be young on this one.
Yeah.
She was like 16 whenever.
Yeah.
So 10 years. So she'll be older.
Did you notice, like in the very beginning of the show, episode 1, they were showing Order 66.
Yeah.
And there was like 4 or 5 younglings that were being protected by a Jedi, and those younglings looked similar to the Inquisitors and stuff. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
And they showed them like running off, but they don't know what happens to them. And like you could see like other Jedis fighting other stormtroopers, and there's like Palpatine popping up saying Order 66.
Yep.
Order 66.
Yep.
That's my version of him. So
Yeah. You have to say that too if you work at a fast food restaurant and that's your next. We have Order 66.
Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of impressions today.
I know we are.
Yeah.
That's okay. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I think I could do something with this.
Yeah, this will probably be the longest episode of this season, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you have any more thoughts on Obi-Wan?
I'm hoping the fight scene's epic, and I hope it's good. And Darth Vader could lose an arm again,
It's a possibility. It's probably the same arm.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't matter. But yeah, I have a feeling that it's going to, like I said, Ahsoka's going to show up, and I think Ahsoka's probably going to take down Reva. She's getting on my nerves.
Yeah, because like
girl on girl action.
Yeah, because there's no Inquisitors in New Hope, so
nope, they're dead.
They're gone.
They're dead, and she's getting on my nerves a little bit.
Just like she's doing her job. She's doing.
She is, but I think there's I have to prove a point yet because I want to be the apprentice of Darth Vader, or she's secretly in love with Anakin. She's in love with the idea of who he is, and but I bet you. I don't know. I'm over here thinking like too many possibilities on it. Like Ahsoka's going to fight her, and then Ahsoka's going to kill her, and then Obi-Wan faces Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't. The younglings thing on there. I was like, man, that's I know this was filmed early, but it's in light of what happened this week.
I hope they have more like scenes like that, or they go back a little bit and show
like the backstories.
The backstories,
yeah, because. That's a great opening. Like it was like, oh dang, it's like right.
But you just noticed because a lot of them look like the Inquisitors. Like there's an African American young girl, and there's like an Asian kid, and so it's just like one of those things. Because hey, that's kind of fits.
Yeah, so it's. I wouldn't be surprised. You think the Mandalorian's not around on this part, right?
No, this was
because Mandalorian happens after 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like after the Empire fell, so it's right before these new movies that came out. So, but anyway, that's me. But
you might get a young Boba Fett.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Darth Vader already has probably already has like bounty hunters under him.
Yeah,
and
it's a possibility.
But they have to use their original costume.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, their original costume.
Yeah, and he has to be skinnier.
He has to be skinnier. Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
I
love Big Bubba. What's his name? Toron. I'm butchering his name.
Morrison.
Yeah, let's just call him
Turmeric Morrison.
Yeah, Starship Pain. Let's just call him Starship Pain.
Okay, Starship Pain.
Yeah, I love Big Bubba, Starship Pain, but
Yeah.
There was Slim Boba Fett back in that time. Yeah, and he's probably younger too, so he's probably just starting up, maybe.
Yeah. He's got some Slim Jims in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb. Who says that?
Slim Jim. Joe Rogan.
Hey, pull up that video on
Jamie, pull up that video about that caterpillar fighting the snail. What?
Pull up that one about the salamander.
Jamie's so good. He's like, done. Here.
I know.
There it is. I'm like, oh, okay. So we needed Jamie.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited today. Today, I've been trying to get this dude on for like a long time.
Yep.
So,
I remember you kept telling. I think you said that since last season.
no, I got to get Logan Craft on.
Yeah, because eventually we're gonna do Logan Craft. I think next week we'll probably do Logan Craft. I'm like, okay.
So, Logan, what's up, buddy?
Oh, no, I've been fighting with UPS all day, and then Amazon, and let's just say that one of them will say that it's not their fault, and the other one will say it is their fault, and then there's a chance I may get like 2 $800 tents in the mail. So if you want a tent, I'll sell one to you.
Nice.
After an hour-long customer service conversation, that was just absolutely wonderful.
Man, it sounded like you had a heck of a day, man. What exactly do you do? Are you allowed to say what you do?
Well, so my full-time job is I am the well operator for the city of Grand Saline.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I run all the water. I pump the water into the water towers. If you get water in town, you can thank me, bow down at my feet and whatnot. I handle... basically, I'm the, as it was put, the co-public works director. So anything to do with water, wastewater, streets, stuff like that, I end up having a part in. I do all like the legal paperwork. I deal with the people in the town,
right,
fixing water leaks, fixing sewer problems, stuff like that.
So you're like big time then, right? You're big time.
I'm big time. You look up Grand Saline and you'll think big time.
Big time.
But on the side, I run Beaver Hook Productions, which is a video and audio editing venture, I guess you could say, that I started up. And it started up when I was, making videos for myself for YouTube and just for fun,
Yeah.
But then it expanded out where now I actually edit other people's podcasts. I edit other people's videos and whatnot. And, that's my side job, is audio video editing.
Yeah, because you actually did our teaser for our YouTube page, which I'm really, really happy with, by the way.
Yeah, there was the story behind that is I got bored, and me and Bob, we originally met through wrestling. That was, we're big wrestling fans.
Yes.
I was going through and I was being a mark one day, and I was just listening to all these old, entrance music off of Spotify, and I got to Test, and I was listening to his, and it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm like, I want to make a video that goes with this. And so I make this video and everything, and it's sitting there for like, I want to say I made it a year ago. And then Bob calls me up and goes, can you make a video for this? And I sent him that as just like a little, you want something like this? He's like, yeah.
Yep.
He's like, switch out Test for, was it Josh Alexander's music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I just switched some stuff around, and that's how it ended up being with that.
Because that was the concept I got. I wanted to do like a Titantron type of like entrance, where it had like, because we don't have a lot of videos of like us doing podcasts, but I just wanted something similar to it. And I think you hit it like right on the head. You were like, you and I were on the same wavelength once you send that back. I go, man, this is what I want. And I just thought it was awesome. So
when you said Titantron, my mind went straight to that video, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, let me show you this.
Wow. It just worked out itself.
Hey, what was like the first time you and I met? Can you?
The first time you and I met in person was at the it wasn't the Halloween camp out.
It was the April one. It was the April one.
Yeah, the was it March or April camp out. And I remember Lauren Smith kept telling me about you, and she's like, "Oh, you and him will be great friends. Y'all will be talking about wrestling and all this stuff." And so I'm sitting there, and this whole camp out, I'm waiting. I'm sitting there like, I want to meet Bob. He'll be my wrestling friend, in Bigfoot. And I'm sitting there, and Lauren keeps telling me to go up to him and do the too sweet thing, and she didn't know what to call it. She just kept calling it the finger thingy.
Oh Lord!
And she goes, "Go up to him and finger him." And I'm
Lord!
I'm a finger him good. And so I'm sitting there, and I finally go up to like the little pavilion thing, and Lauren's like, "Hey, that's Bob over there. Go do the thing." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so I start walking over to Bob, and all I remember is he's just like looking at me like, what the hell is this dude doing?
Yeah.
And I walk up to him and I just go, too sweet. And he looks at me for a second, and I'm just sitting there doing the too sweet, waiting for him to do it back. And he finally like, doop, and does it back.
Yeah, it took me a minute to register who you are, because I know I seen you like on Facebook on Lauren's page and stuff. I go, I think that's Craft. I go, okay, and I go, he's doing too sweet to me, and I just like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
So I thought that was kind of cool. The first time we actually officially met, we did the too sweet to each other. So that
Too
was
sweet.
Yeah, it was. Hold on.
Too sweet.
So, but yeah, man, that was like, I don't know, that was like almost a year ago, right?
Yeah, that was about a year ago.
So it was before you got sick.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
right before I got sick.
It was right before.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that was. I mean, it was good because I think it was just good timing, and I don't know, man. It was just something about you. You and I just clicked, and because like even like today, like when I'm watching AEW or WWE or Impact, I'll text him. I'll either instant message him or text him, and I go, what the F is this? And like he like, Logan like responds like right away. I don't know, man, but it's just like
I'll sit there and I'll send you an essay
Yeah.
about what's wrong. I'll be like, this is just absolute horrible. It's a mess.
I was gonna ask you, man. What type of kid were you like growing up and stuff?
Well, I was the quintessential fat kid in school that tried to stay by himself and was always with the outcast kids, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way. I wasn't really allowed to go out and do anything as when I was like, in school. Basically, I stayed home and I played Nintendo, and that was the majority of it. I actually didn't start doing anything until I went to college, because that's when I got the party.
Yeah, you got the party, you got
And-
the experience stuff.
Yeah, and I was really super antisocial. I still am kind of antisocial.
I don't sense that, but yeah, okay, go ahead.
But I didn't really getting into the Bigfoot community, if that's what you want to call it, the cryptid, community.
Yeah.
That's when I finally started, coming out and being more social. And that was around, I want to say 2015 is when I went, not when I went to my first conference, but that's when I went. 2015 is the first time I went to a conference as, somebody that was actually actively in the community doing something,
Yeah. What was it that got you like over? Okay, this is what I want to do. This is Bigfoot stuff is what I want to do, or cryptids is what I want to do. Time period, or what time did you go through that? Like an epiphany or something?
Well, I was already the paranormal side of it is what originally started, because I was having weird stuff happen in my house, which is the house I live in now. I ended up owning it after, I moved back. But I started out on the paranormal side because of everything that was going on in this house. I wanted to know what was going on. So I would watch, what's that one show that used to, it's like the college kids. It used to be on AEW. Or AEW.
You're talking about Paranormal State.
Yes, Paranormal State. That is the first paranormal show I can remember watching.
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of branched out into like Monster Quest and Lost Tapes, if you remember that, on Animal Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Just stuff like that got me interested in it. I was super, I was checking out library books and stuff like that. If it was cryptid or paranormal related, I wanted to know about it. And when I was in high school, one of my friends, his name is Steven. I would always go over to his house, and his stepdad is Paul Ragsdale.
Oh yeah, I met him. I met him recently.
Okay, and so I would always be over at his house, and Paul would be there, and me and Paul would talk and everything. Well, that conference that I went to, my mom just drug me along because my mom got really into finding Bigfoot. I never really cared for it, but my mom did, and she was like, "Oh, we need to go see Bob Gimlin at the Jefferson conference." And we went there, and I'm walking around, and I run into Paul, and I go, why are you here? And he's like, "Oh, I'm a Bigfoot researcher or whatever." And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah. If you ever want to go out, come with me and I'll take you out." And that's how I got brought into Bigfoot. Was Paul brought me in with STBI, and I ended up going out with Paul and Javier Torres and Jason, his nephew, and all of them, and Gabriel and all of those people. And that's how I got introduced into Bigfoot. And through them, I started branching out, meeting other people, and that's just really how it started.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, it's awesome that you ran into him. It was like
small world.
Such a small world.
Yeah.
And it's really funny, and I don't think I've ever told him this, but after we started doing that, I'd go back over there to see Steven. And the next time I went over there, he said, "Logan, I want to show you my Bigfoot room." And I'm sitting there like, "What?" And it turns out there was this room right beside Steven's room that was just packed full of Bigfoot stuff that I never knew was there. He had cast and posters and pictures and equipment and thermals and everything in there.
That's awesome.
And I was sitting there like, man, this guy's like Batman.
He's like John Betternagel, Bruce Wayne.
And then poor Steven was just like, but you're my friend.
We're friends.
You're my friend.
But you're my friend. Wait.
He just looked at me. He's like, "Not you too."
No, not you. No. Lord.
You know what's funny is that like first time I had heard your name, I called Luke Gross, and I had asked him. I go, "Hey, tell me what you know about Logan Craft." That's what I asked Luke. Cause that's usually like the standard I go with. If you know Luke, then you're good. Then you're solid. And Luke says, "Yeah." Because you know what? I gave Logan a couple places to go. He asked me for a couple places. I told him where to go, and he went. I go, "Really?" I go, "By himself?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Wow, that's awesome." And so Luke vouched for you. So I said, "Okay, well, I guess he's good to go then. And I guess I got to meet him and do the T-Suite with him." So.
Have to do it. Have to do it.
Luke's a good man.
Yeah, he is. He's like, man, I've without him, I don't think I would be in the field like today, like at all. So
yeah, I learned a lot from Luke. He used to send me papers that he wrote, about like vegetation and stuff like that, like what you actually need to know when you go out looking for stuff.
Yeah,
that sounds like Luke.
Yeah, I remember like the second or third time I went out with Luke, we went into this area called Area 3. It's over in Sulphur Springs, and we're walking a trail, and he was like talking to me about about Bigfoot, like what they do in the area. And we were walking. He had a bottle of water, and he would like bend down and pull something out of the ground and like run it with water on it and hand it to me. He goes, "Here, try this," and I would taste it, and he goes, "Hey, it's pretty good," because I know.
What the heck?
If we would walk further and he would pull like persimmons out at somewhere and like run like his water bottle over it, because here, Bob, and I would eat it. I go, and he would give me like the Latin name for it. I go, holy shit, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like a walking just encyclopedia. I guess,
yeah. No one uses those anymore.
Yeah, but that's what he is, though.
That's true, man. He's the man. But
it's knowledgeable. But some people today would call it a useless talent. No, it's actually pretty dang awesome.
It's definitely not useless.
No, it's not. Especially if you're out there by yourself and you need and you survive. There's Luke.
Yeah, the first time you went in the field, he was with us, right? When first time you went out, and he like calmed you down. And
The first time we went out, we didn't really talk. I was really shy.
Yeah,
but whenever the second time or third time we went out to that you don't understand. You're going. It's at nighttime, and there's a graveyard of like slaves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's Bigfoot, and then the Bigfoot's like, nah. You know, we're here. Don't believe in ghosts. I'm throwing rocks at you, and I was like, oh, my heart was beating out of my chest. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck did I just get myself into?
How old were you? You're like 7, right?
No. I think I was like a little bit older. I think 11 or 12, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And then that's whenever he just pulled me aside. He was like, what you're feeling is not fear. It's not, you're not scared. It's adrenaline. He goes, just don't fight it. Ride it.
Yeah.
Ride it like a wave. And I was like, okay. And it just clicked.
Wow.
So I don't think I was ever that was whenever I was finally able, whenever you got out of that car with, when we went to Concho.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm getting out. If something happens, I want to be there, you know. But me, I would have been like, no, where you going?
Yeah.
Old me, but Luke awakened something else.
Yeah, for some reason I can't explain it. Every time I'm in the woods with Luke, I just feel really safe. I don't know why. I just do. But he just brings that calm over us. But anyway, enough about Luke. We need to get back to
Mr. Craft. Do you like macaroni and cheese?
If I make it and then I get to put like barbecue sauce in it, and then
I like this guy.
Yeah.
you put cayenne pepper in it, I'll mess up macaroni and cheese.
Now, do you feel obligated to not use Kraft just because it's your last name, but even though it's probably spelled differently?
Yeah, they spell it with a K. I spell it with a C. That's
Right.
the only thing keeping me from suing that company, honestly.
Yeah, I actually made some Kraft.
Leeway there.
I made some Kraft macaroni and cheese yesterday for my kids, and they love it.
Yeah.
The way I do it.
Tell them it's a old family tradition that they stole from us and just changed one letter.
Oh man, how dare they? How dare they?
Logan, are you currently you're not in any groups right now, right? You're not in any Bigfoot groups.
The only group that I really identify with, is that the right term? Identify. The only group I guess in is Cryptid Connection with Stephen James and Jennifer James.
Okay.
I'm no longer actively in STBI. I support them. I have no problem going out with them or anything. But right now, the only group that I actively participate in is Cryptid Connection.
Gotcha. I gotta meet Steven, man. I gotta meet him.
I'm right here.
Oh.
I can hook you up because we're going out on Father's Day weekend.
Are you really?
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting here having all this trouble with Amazon and UPS trying to get me my new tent so I can go out there and show them up and be all bougie.
Nice. Okay. Well, all right. We have to talk about that like off show. But
Yeah. And I can hook you up with him. He likes to talk.
yeah.
You might not want to listen, but he likes to talk.
No, man. I mean, anybody that's cool with you, I'm cool with. So, that's the way I see it. So, I mean, that's.
Is this another Steven, or is this
James, the one he was just talking
about? The one about where Paul was?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
It's not?
No, that is Stephen Miller.
Oh, okay.
Paul's
Oh, so
stepson.
you know a lot of Stevens.
I know a lot of. I was thinking about this before when Bob was like, "Oh yeah, Steven's going to be on the podcast too with me," and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, let me think of all the Stevens I know."
Dang it.
But are all of them spelled with the V, because that's how you correctly spell it?
Actually, yes, they all are.
Wow.
That's cool.
I only
Man.
know one Steven that is not spelled with the V.
That's with the PH.
Yep,
And that's not really, you don't really know one Steven, you know a Stefan.
I know a Stefan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's Stephanie, there's never a Stephanie.
When I think of a Stefan, I think of somebody with like a pompadour and
Yeah,
like a black leather jacket and
a
he's trying to
fedora
fit
or
in.
something.
He's like the biker dude that has a little bicycle with a little bell on it. And
Oh,
just
a little bell.
rings.
That sounds so cute.
That's adorable. Stefan,
I just
where are
offended
you?
all of your Stefans that listen to this show.
I know, right?
They're all right.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
They'll survive.
I was going to ask you. So right now, you do Logan versus Kenny, right?
Yes.
Is
Logan versus Kenny in 3 minutes.
Is that Kenny Walls?
Yes.
Okay, I met him briefly at the Mineola conference.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to talk to him because he looked like a really busy dude. I didn't really get a chance to talk to him that much. But
Kenny is, he's an enigma.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to put it.
yeah,
Everybody knows Kenny. I don't know anybody that hates Kenny. I don't know anybody who has ever said a bad thing about Kenny.
yeah,
You know, and that's somebody that I can 100% sit there and say I love that man just for who he is no matter what. If I were to stop right now and call him, he would pick up and he would talk to me for 4 hours.
nice.
You know, he's just one of those people.
What's the concept of Logan versus Kenny?
It's anything, everything, whatever we want to talk about, it gets talked about. There is no censorship. I don't believe in censorship. Anything I work on will never have censorship in it. So we talk about everything. If you really wanted to listen to the episode that brought Logan versus Kenny to whatever kind of light you want to describe it as, if you go listen to episode 6, it's called It's a Schlong Story. And the entire episode is me and him talking about Bigfoot penis.
Wow.
We are because we sat there and we were talking about it. The idea came from when me and Steven and Jennifer were doing a episode of the Cryptid Connection podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about these people who would call in reports of Bigfoot having sex with horses.
You know, I've heard that. I've heard stories about that too.
Well, me, naturally being me, I'm sarcastic and dry humor, and I go straight in on that. And Jennifer was like, hey, this is a PG show. We can't talk about it. And right then I had a light kick off in my head. I said, but me and Kenny can.
Yeah.
And so the entire episode is about, everything to do with a Bigfoot's member.
Yeah.
There's even a love story between two Bigfoot and a horse somewhere in there.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Had Luke ever tell you about? Because like Luke and I we did a incident, or we filled a eyewitness report in Kentucky of this lady, and she talked about a glowing penis. Have you ever heard that story?
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard a few of those. What color was yours?
She didn't say. She said that when she called us, she said that that Bigfoot had she was living by herself and in some holler or something, and she was saying that Bigfoot wanted to have sex with her. And I go, how did you know? And she said, well, I can see his penis glowing and bouncing as he's walking down the mountain. And we asked her a bunch of questions about it and stuff, and then afterwards I asked Luke, I said, is that possible? And he goes, yeah, I mean there's like phosphorescent mushrooms that a Bigfoot could touch and then touch his penis, and then it happens. And so,
what the heck?
So we've had that discussion, and then we did another one where this lady was I can't remember what area it was, but she was almost abducted by by a Bigfoot. She had a flat tire, and her boyfriend went into town to go get some help. This Bigfoot walked out of the woods and tried to pull her out of her truck, and the only thing she could see was his nipples and his penis. And she described it to a T, what color it was, if it was veiny.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I just saw his massive beef hose.
So she was talking about that, and I think one of our episodes is called "Mind Your Ends and Peas," was your nipples and penises, So,
mind your ends and peas.
So that to me that sounds right up our alley too. So
yeah, I mean we don't really keep anything PG.
No, we don't. We don't.
We curse. Yeah,
that's the
That's
club.
how it should be.
Yeah, it's the club. It's unrestricted, but anyway, that's awesome that you talk about penises.
That's Bigfoot penises, at least,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man talks about penis. We need to get him on the show.
Not just penis, Bigfoot penis.
Exactly.
So
those massive dongers.
I know we're good.
Just keep coming up different names with it.
You know what we
Bigfooters.
need now?
What?
For Halloween, we got to get Val Venus to dress up as a Bigfoot.
Yes. That's fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome.
But Man, I forgot why we went on this rant.
I don't know. It just kind of led to
I think
that.
you were asking about Logan versus Kenny.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Listen to
Okay,
this
sorry.
episode.
And then you have 3 minutes, which I thought was very, very interesting. I actually contributed to that, so I just wanted.
Yes, you did.
It was very intriguing. Steven, did you want to ask a question about that?
Yeah, like because he was telling me about it and to listen to it, and I listened to a couple, and I was all like, I go, what inspired him to do? Because now when you do like a podcast, you know, you'll have a 3-minute segment inside of a podcast of an episode or something like, you know, like some type of plug-in. But when I looked at it, I was like, oh, these episodes are actually just 3 minutes. Like 40, it's like a 45 second like intro song, and then 3 minutes of whoever's talking. And I was like, what, man, I wonder what inspired him to do that. Like, cause it's not, I've never seen that before at all.
I can tell you when I came up with the idea. Actually, yeah, I can tell you why. I was coming back from Oklahoma, and I started listening to, once again, I was listening to old entrance music from like WWE, WWF. That's how I get all my ideas.
Wow. Okay.
And I got to 3 Minute Warning. And that's the intro song for 3 minutes, is the theme song for 3 Minute Warning. I just cut out a chunk of it. I need to shorten it. But I was sitting there and I started thinking, and I said, man, what if you only had 3 minutes left? And what would you say or do with that 3 minutes? And I started talking, and you met him in Mineola, Big Dog.
Yeah.
Mendoza.
Uh-huh.
I sent him a message, and I said, Big Dog, what would you think about a show where you literally have 3 minutes to say, do, or whatever you want to do, as long as it can be put on a podcast format? He's like, oh man, that would be awesome. I said, great, because you're the first episode.
Nice.
And I said, go record 3 minutes. You can do 2 minutes and 55 seconds to 3 minutes of whatever if you want to play piano, if you want to sing, if you want to just like sit there and yell.
Yeah.
And Big Dog was the first episode, and it was him eating Whataburger.
Wow.
So I mean, that's how 3 minutes came about. It was just a random idea I had, where it was like, I'm listening to 3 Minute Warning and going, I wonder what would happen if you only had 3 minutes left.
That's because I found it fascinating, because you got like, I find stuff like that fascinating. Like, I don't know if you're on TikTok. Are you on TikTok? Or
yes, yeah.
Do you know that what's his name? It's Justin something, where he's like, you know, listen, did you know? He gives like strange facts. He's pretty. I think he's from Texas actually. But he'll like stitch his video with someone else's video, like them doing something stupid. And he goes, yeah,
yes, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I would never do that. Listen, did you know that a sea turtle can breathe out its butthole?
Yep.
Now you do. You know, stuff like that. I find. I was like, and I'm like, this can't be real. I'll look it up, and I'm like, holy crap, it is real. Like, these are actually great, useless facts. So whenever I was listening to the lunchtime, I was like, I can totally relate to this. I want to be left alone. Like, it's my, and you have an hour. I don't. I have 30 minutes. And if you're coming to me, I don't care if it's like the 29th minute. I would say, please let me know at this last minute in peace, please.
Yeah.
Like, please, come on, man. Come on, don't do that. Sometimes I just have to go to my car. That way they can leave me alone. Go to my car, get out of that parking spot where I'm at, and go park somewhere else. Like, it's terrible.
The hardest thing about 3 minutes is I don't do any promotion for any of my stuff. Like, you know, other people, they'll go out and they'll put hashtags on everything. They'll actively try to promote it. Everything I do, I try to do word of mouth, because if it gets passed around just by word of mouth, then I know something was good. I know I did something right. Mm-hmm. And the problem with doing that in 3 minutes is I need to have people actively sending me in episodes, and you'll see stretches where it's just me doing them. That's because I don't have anybody, you know, there.
You should do one, Steven.
Yes, Steven. Yeah, Steven.
I wouldn't know what to talk about for 3 minutes.
And you viewer, you listener, right now,
Yes.
you should do one.
Yes. That's where you plug in your stuff to people to send you the 3 minutes on it. Yeah, I was, that I wouldn't mind doing it. I just got to figure out what to talk about for 3 minutes.
Anything.
I mean, yeah, but
Gaming or the kids or,
You know what really grinds my gears? Stuff like
I had
that.
somebody play the guitar for 3 minutes.
Oh man, I need to practice on that if I want to do that.
You can play good.
I'm decent.
I don't know why you're saying that, but
Yeah.
Go buy a recorder from the store and play Three Blind Mice.
3 Blind Mice. I don't think I can. Well, I'll learn. How about that? I'll learn.
Steven's really good. Don't let him say that too, because like he can listen to a song and play it on the guitar like within 3 minutes. So
I play by ear. I don't read notes. I would love to read notes. I wish I was trained to do that, but I was never taught that. I just had that musical ear where I could hear it and be like, oh, okay, it's this with that, and bam, there it is. There's a note. I don't know. It's some people thought that was pretty cool, but I was like, it's what I just learned.
yeah.
That's what it is. But yeah, 3 minutes. And when we're getting back to it, 3 minutes. I thought it was fascinating, especially the last time episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. I mean, I listened to a couple. I feel kind of selfish because whenever I did mine, I was plugging Bigfoot Club, and I listened to other people's stuff. I go, man, they're not even doing that. They're just like Matt did a really good one, and I was like, I was tearing. I was like, my eyes were watering when I heard Matt's, and I go, my God, I'm such a douche.
What did Matt say on that? I don't think I listened to that.
He was talking about his grandmother.
Passing away.
Yeah, so that was. Oh man, that really touched me because I think we just missed meeting her. Like she died before we had moved to Tulsa because we Steven and I moved to Tulsa, Logan, like to go be with Matt all the time. Mm-hmm. And that was 2011, right?
Yeah, no, that was 2009.
2009, that's
yeah,
right.
It was right after I graduated.
So we moved to Tulsa and I think she had just passed right before we had got there. So it was just kind of one of those things. But
I think it was like that year, right?
Yeah,
right after I graduated, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's freaking terrible.
But man, we got to get back on a lighter note here. So
Yeah.
you have a question for Logan?
No. I'll just I'll try to think of something. 3 minutes. I don't want to just talk about anything, which I know
that's the whole experiment.
That's the whole experiment. I get it, but I want it to be worthwhile. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you can do more than one. Just don't flood it.
Right. No. Yeah.
But Logan, there was like I heard another podcast that you were like the most wanted guy in Arkansas.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm Arkansas's most wanted.
That's if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, if you want to talk, if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
I have no problem talking about it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Robert told me about this story too, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah. So I like to think of it as a little misunderstanding. So there was a point in time a couple of years ago where Stephen James sent me a message and he said, "Hey, I have this guy over in Arkansas that's wanting me to come out and go, around to some of their research areas with them and check it all out." And I was like, "Okay." And they kept sending him messages, but they kind of got more and more sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, Steven's going to go out there and get himself killed, this poor defenseless creature. And I'm sitting there like, I got to go with you because somebody's got to go out there. And if you die, I need to be able to drive your car back and keep it and whatnot. So we go to Arkansas and we meet up with this guy. And straight off the bat, he's being sketchy. And I'm sitting there telling Steven, I don't like this guy. He's just weird. He's really jumpy. Everything he's doing is strange. So eventually he takes us to, I'm not, just out of respect for the other people in this, I'm not going to say what the actual locations are, like the actual names of the mountains or whatever.
Right.
But they called it Area 2 or 3 or something like that. They had all these different places set up, and they called them Area this, or this. And so we go to this one, and we get there, and there's like, I want to say like 7 or 8 people already there. Me and Steven only knew one of them who just happened to be there. We didn't know he was going to be there. He wasn't there long before he left. So it's just me and Steven, and we got about 7 of these other people here now. All of these people are sitting around a campfire. They all have rifles or shotguns. They all have them decked out with like lasers and everything on them. These guns are just laying on the ground. They're walking around tripping on them. And I'm sitting here going, okay, this is, sketchy. I got one gun. I can take out maybe 3 of these people before they get me. Well, I'm sitting here and I'm finally like, I'm tired of sitting around the campfire. Steven's talking to these other people. I actively say, I go, look, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go walk around. They're all like, don't go out there in the dark, because these people believe Bigfoot runs 60 miles an hour and will rip you out of a car while you're going down the road and eat your face. And I'm sitting there and I'm walking around. And at the time, I had a headlamp, and I love this headlamp, and it got stole, and I can't find another one like it. But it had one big white beam in the middle, and on the side, it had 2 red bulbs. So when you turn your red lights on, it looked like, in the dark, it looked like 2 red eyes. And so I'm walking around out there, and I guess I stepped on something or something of that nature. And when I did that, these people started freaking out. Like, that's how scared they were of being out there in the dark. And they're pulling guns up and stuff. And I turned my red lights on, which they take to be eye shine. And I get like 5 lasers pointed at me. And they sit there and they go, if you're, say something or we're going to shoot you. And I'm just being a smart ass, because that's me. I don't care. And I go, if you're going to shoot me, you better kill me. Because if not, I'm going to beat your ass. And, eventually Steven's like, that's Logan, put the guns down or whatever. And at this point in time, I'm fed up. I'm like, this is like, I don't want to be out here with these people. They don't have any firearm discipline at all. And so this was at the time I was making a show for Cryptic Connection called Logan versus Everyone. And basically the idea originally behind the show was I was going to go to like the different conferences or whatnot, like the Texas conference, the Hanobia conference. I was going to go to all these different conferences. I was going to do like, what it was like to be there. I was going to give you the pros and cons of going, I was going to do that. Well, it eventually evolved into this, like, this is what we do when we go out on a camp out. And at the end of this episode, which if you want to go watch this episode, it's called the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel. It's on the Cryptic Connection YouTube channel.
Oh, Lord.
I love the name.
I ain't scared. So at the end of this episode, I talk about we need more gun safety. We can't all be jumpy because someone's going to get shot.
Yeah.
Well, apparently you're not supposed to say that in the red-blooded South, because I had every single Bigfoot person under the sun that lived in Texas and Arkansas come after me. They were going for me.
This was on social media?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were going for me, and I'm sitting there going back because like I said, I don't care who you are. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But if you're going to argue, I will put you in the ground. I'm the best arguer in the world. And so eventually it gets to the point where I'm getting these like legitimate like threats towards me, and I'm just like, here's my address. If you want to come on. and so I go and I work for the city. So I work with the police department here. And one day I'm driving around and I get a phone call from the, whatever you call her, the dispatcher for our police department at the time. And she goes, Logan, the police from, or the Ozark County or Ozark City Sheriff's Department is calling looking for you. Ozark, Arkansas. So it's the Ozark Sheriff's Department is calling looking for you. I go, don't answer. and she goes, oh, I already gave him your number. I said, well, you're a snitch. And so I get a phone call from the Ozark County Sheriff's Department, or Ozark, I want to say county, but it's just Ozark Sheriff's Department. And they're like, are you Logan Craft? I said, yes. They said, we have a belief that you are tied to the disappearance of a Matthew Potts. And I said, who? And they said, we found an abandoned ATV on the side of this mountain, which I'm not going to say just for the other people in this.
Right.
We found an abandoned ATV on the same side that Matthew Potts disappeared on. And I go, and it's registered under my name. They go, yeah, if you want it, come down here and pick it up. And I said, well, first off, I don't own an ATV. I will gladly take one for free. But can you tell me what the name is on this ATV since it's mine? They go, well, it's Logan Craft. I said, that can't be mine. I said, I would legally have to put Robert Logan Craft. That's my first name is Robert. Well, it's still under your name if you want to come get it. I said, can I send somebody up there to get it? And they go, no, you have to come yourself. So for like a week or two, I'm sitting here getting phone calls from the Ozark Sheriff's Department trying to get me to come up there. And I'm sitting there like, why? And then they're like, eventually they're like, do you know a Matthew Potts? And I go, no, I don't. Well, it turns out that one of the people that was in this group that I pissed off, at least at the time, I don't know if he still is now. I don't, obviously I don't keep up with him.
Right.
He was in some form or fashion working for the sheriff's department. And the story is this man, Matthew Potts, is from, I want to say Quitman. If you look up Matthew Potts missing, it'll pop up the news story. He just got out of the Army, told his parents, which I guess he was living with at the time, that he was going to go drive to Arkansas and hike around, parked his car on the side of the road, which happened to be right by this area that they have, and walked into the wood line and never came back.
Wow.
And they tried to blame that on me. And I've never met this man before, nothing like that. And in my mind, I'm sitting there like, they shot this guy and then tried to frame me for it.
Yeah, it sounds like a setup. Like that's usually what they tell like a meth person that, hey, you won this award, come get it, and that's an easy way to get them out of the neighborhood that they're in.
Yep.
To do that, I go, man, that's dumb. I mean, but
I was
sitting
sitting
on an
there,
episode of Ozark too.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was like, okay. And then a while went by after that, right? And they finally stopped calling me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, if I was legitimately wanted for murder, they would send somebody after me. Like that's one of those things. They're going to send somebody after me. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, come up here. But I went to Thanksgiving and I was there. It was for my dad's side. And I was telling this story to everybody at the table. And it turns out the only connection I have with Matthew Potts is my half brother bought a truck from him a while ago.
Wow.
That's the only connection I have to that man is my half brother buying a truck from him.
Now I'm going to ask this question now, and you probably don't know, or you because you didn't know everybody that was there. Whenever you went out to go hang out, you and Steven went to go hang out with these guys. Was he there at all? Do you know?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
there was another person that had the same first name as him,
mm-hmm.
but he has a different last name,
Gotcha.
and he is from Arkansas.
Wow, so you're the most wanted. I mean, are you going back to that area or no?
The only times I go to Arkansas now is when they're doing the Falk camp out. I try to stay out of Arkansas as much as possible now because of that.
Man, that is crazy. That
is pretty scary.
That is where the Arkansas's Most Wanted name came from. And I joke about everything. And
right.
I get the fact that the Matthew Potts guy, I understand that he actually went missing and all that. And I don't want to make fun of him, I don't want to make fun of that situation.
Right.
But this is just one of those things where you have to look at it and go, people in this, like the Bigfoot quote unquote community, they take things so serious, like over serious.
Yeah.
Like if you don't agree with them, you now have a wanted status, and it's like, you have to really watch what you're doing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, even like when I started, like in 99, 98, it was very cliquey back then too. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I pick and choose really carefully who I associate with, and it's just one of those things that you just gotta be careful on who you hang out with, and because like people used to come tell me all the time, like, hey, so and so likes Bigfoot, they want to go to the woods with you, and I used to always say, I go, just because they like Bigfoot doesn't mean I have to be in the woods with them.
Yeah,
exactly.
I remember you say that a lot, and I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, I don't understand, but y'all can relate.
Yeah,
y'all can relate. And then after meeting people in the Bigfoot community, I'm like, okay, never mind. I understand now.
But
I'm really picky about who I go out with, and like Steven was just saying, I have a story about going out with two people who claimed to be Navy SEALs who were off duty at the time. And we went out to Sam Houston.
mm-hmm.
Just for background, I used to be a mortician and an embalmer and whatnot, funeral director. And we went out to this place and there was a dead hog. And this guy tried to debate with me how long this hog had been dead. It was already bloated and it was about to pop. And he goes, oh, it's been dead for about 3 hours. I go, there's no way. This thing's been out here for at least 3 or 4 days to get to the point where it's at, and I'm not an expert on like animals, the decomposition process for animals, but for people, it's kind of similar, I would expect.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're sitting here and we're debating about all this, and we have coyotes go off, and they're so far away. Like it's you barely hear them. These two guys that claim to be Navy SEALs pull out their pistols, cock them, get them ready, and tell us we have to go back to the cars because it is no longer safe.
Oh, Lord.
There is a reason I am picky about who I go out with.
Wow. Yeah, I would too. I would totally too.
Yeah, that's red flags.
Yeah.
The hog already was a red flag.
You don't understand. I went off on these people to the point where he came up the next day and he got in my face and was like, do you have a problem with me? I said, well, maybe it's because you're a little bitch.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he left. He didn't stay anymore.
That's so funny. What are you looking for?
Hold on.
Bigfoot is real, man.
Yeah. Does he know that's
no, that's Sebastian. That's Steven's boy.
Yeah, that's one of the twin boys.
And he's really good about doing stuff like this. So
Bigfoot Club for life, homie.
He was like 4 at the time.
Yeah, he goes, Uncle Robert, I want to do the sound bites.
Yeah, he already knows what they're called now. Yeah, he's really good at it. He has the most. Ricardo only has 1.
Yeah, he laughs the whole time.
Ricardo thinks it's so funny. I'm like, just stop laughing. Just say it, and that's it.
Logan, I was going to ask you. I try to ask everybody this question: Who is the most influence in your life? You could be a non-Bigfoot person and a Bigfoot person. Who's the most influential person in your life?
Just in general, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a hard one.
Ooh. Wow.
And there goes my dogs.
Didn't like that question.
My dogs.
Oh man, is there some paranormal stuff going on?
Oh, there might be.
Logie, you all right?
Okay, I'm back. I was getting them to shut up.
Okay. I was saying, is it a paranormal thing going?
No, they're just fighting. Now, I did have something about 2 days ago that was weird.
What was it?
So I've been on this like tirade where I'm watching Bigfoot horror movies because I don't really watch movies because I hate movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to find the best Bigfoot horror movie, which so far is not working out. And so I'm sitting there and we just get done with one and I don't have anything, like there's no audio of any kind playing at all. And I swear I hear somebody, like a male voice, talking in my living room or kitchen area. And it goes for like maybe 20 seconds of just a man muttering.
Could you tell what he was saying?
I couldn't tell what he was saying. I could tell it was a male voice. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, like, is someone in my house? So I have an open door policy on my house. If you walk in, make sure I know you're here or you'll get shot. But like other than that, you can walk into my house whenever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, who the hell's here? And eventually my male dog, he comes out from under the bed growling and runs into the living room. And he starts barking and growling and carrying on. And he does that for about 10, 15 seconds and stops. And I quit hearing the voice. And he comes back to the bedroom and just gets under the bed. I get up. I walk around. There's no doors open. Nobody was here. You know, like, because if you're in my house, you know my dogs. My dog knows you. And so that was just weird. I've never had anything that sounded like a voice happen here before.
Like muttering stuff?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird. I guess back to the question or the influential.
Yeah.
I had to think about that. I really... Brody Lee was one as far as just the wrestler? A wrestler or celebrity. You know, if I was going to have to pick one of those,
right? How so? If you don't mind
it
me
was
asking.
just because I like to pay attention to the like stuff that's behind the scenes, and just him as a person, how he acted, how he treated everyone. He was a great wrestler. I really don't think WWE ever let him legitimately do what he, was capable of. And he is one of the few people that, like, I don't personally know that when he died, I, like, went to another room and cried because he died on, like, Christmas.
Right.
And I was at my dad's side of the family Christmas at that time, and I went in another room and legitimately cried about somebody I'd never met before because he just meant a lot to me about, he had all like life lessons and stuff like that.
I loved how he put his family first for everything.
Exactly.
And like he would do his show. Like I've heard stories about him. He would do his show And then Jericho, I think Jericho was saying that he goes, "Hey man, let's go over here and let's relax and let's just wait for the next time we're on the road." He goes, "No man, I got 3 hours to get home. I'm gonna get there on time for my wife and kids so I can make them pancakes."
Yep.
And I love that about him, and that was like so great. And how he touched so many of those Dark Order guys.
Yep.
And
exactly.
it was just, to me, it was like, that was, I wish I had known him more. I wish I had looked at more of his matches, his indie stuff. And I don't know, but yeah, you're right. That's a good choice.
Yeah, that is a good one.
How about Bigfoot? What was the biggest Bigfoot influence person you have in your life?
Influence in Bigfoot, I would say right now, I would say the way Jeremy. Have you ever met Jeremy Gibson?
I have not.
Jeremy Gibson lives in Emory over here by me, and me and him used to go out almost every single weekend. I have had more activity going out with him than I have anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those people that he goes out by himself and he'll take a knife and a can of coffee, and he will live in the woods for about 3-4 months easy.
Wow.
It's just the way, to me, it's the fact that he can go in the woods by himself for that long a time, do the stuff he does, gets good evidence and whatnot, lives off the land. It's just stuff like that. And he knows I like to think that Luke and Jeremy are very similar in their knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, the knowledge, I just think that Jeremy is more self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you listen to his life story, he dropped out of high school to live in the woods. Huh. His mom gave him an option because he was, if I remember right, he wasn't doing good in school, and she gave him an option. He could either do good in school, or he could just go live in the woods. And so that's what he would do for months at a time. And he just learned everything. And I've never met somebody that can sit there and smell the air and tell you how many of a certain animal are in front of you.
That's impressive. I mean,
I can't smell. I haven't been able to smell since college. And so we'll be going out and he'll be like, "You smell that?" And then he'll turn around and go, "Oh wait, yeah, whatever." But he'll sit there and he'll stop for a minute, and you'll hear him sniff, and he'll go, "There's 4 hogs, one's a female." And I shit you not, there will be 4 hogs, and I'm going to take his word that one's a female.
Was he wasn't at the conference, was he?
No, he was not.
Okay.
Jeremy Gibson.
Okay. I gotta meet this guy.
Yeah. Get him and Luke on the.
He's one of those. He's really elusive. That's a good word for him.
Yeah.
He's elusive now. Ever since the COVID stuff started, I haven't seen him. Like I said, we used to go out every single weekend until the COVID stuff started.
Wow.
And then he kind of locked himself down and disappeared and did his own thing. But I can understand that because he had a daughter at home that was, pretty young, and he was trying to keep her safe.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's awesome. I love that you picked him. I don't know him, but I want to know him now. So. So far, we've been going like an hour now.
An hour?
Yeah, that's 1 minute and 1 second. So
he knows about that, right?
I don't know if Logan knows that.
I picked it up on. I was listening. Was it Matt's episode? You did an episode not too long ago where you said that, and I was like, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, because I messed up the first time we did that. I go, we're going for 36 seconds. I go 36 seconds. I mean 36 minutes, and I messed up, so we just go along with it all the time. So
we're in 1 minute and 12 seconds in. I go, wow, really? It felt longer than that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But man, I'm glad I finally got you on. I've been trying to get you on for the longest time. I mean, it's like our schedules were not connecting at all for the longest time, right?
I remember last year you asked me to come on, and I think that's when you first got sick.
Yeah.
And skipped out on that. And then a couple of weeks ago, like right after Mineola, and then everything just kept happening right when we were supposed to record.
Yeah.
I think one of the times too you had to reschedule because I had COVID.
Yeah.
I got COVID twice, and I think that was one of the times. Just like, hey, we're gonna do Logan Craft this Friday, and then like the next day I go, hey, I got tested for positive for COVID.
Yeah.
You go, what? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because I really wanted Steven to do this show with you, Logan, because I wanted y'all to talk and stuff. So I just thought it was important. I go, no, I can't do it by myself. I got to do it. And like I was trying to get you at the Falk campout too. Whenever I was there with Ash at the time, and I go, hey man, I want to get you on the mic. And you go, okay, and you just like you were a busy dude that day. You were I ended up being basically, I like to think of like the third leg of the Falk campout, because you have Keith and then you have Lauren who normally run it. Yeah.
This next time coming up, Lauren's not going to be running it, but I basically do a lot of the running around, back and forth leg work and whatnot. And then they wanted me to be the MC. I made Arkansas mad once again.
Oh no.
So
oh no.
So we have this joke. You haven't. I don't think you've met him. You might have. He was there at the campout. But Corey Huckel, he's one of my best friends.
I want to say I haven't. Although I wanted to meet as much as people whenever I was there, but I don't. Yeah, because I was starting to get sick whenever I was there, and I just I don't know. I had to leave early like that first night. But anyway, go ahead.
And so me and Corey would do everything together. Like we would go out to bars, we would go, do stuff. And they started making the joke that we were married. And so we just started calling each other hubbies. Like he's my hubby, I'm his hubby. And
he's
so
tall. He's tall, right? He's super tall. Or is he taller than you?
He's probably like an inch or two shorter than me.
Okay, all right. Everybody's taller than me, but
and so he's definitely got the better beard. But it got to the point where people legitimately thought me and him were a thing. And he got a girlfriend, and people started sending me messages, and they would come up to me and be like, did you know he's cheating on you? Like legitimate. No. Like they thought he was cheating on me. And I'm like, it's a love triangle. Like I'm just fucking with him. And so they told me they wanted me to MC for the Halloween camp out last year. And like I said, I have social anxiety. Like if I don't know these people, I really don't want to. So I'm like in my head, I'm sitting here rushing through all this stuff, and I don't think about it, but I'm surrounded by a bunch of, white Arkansas old men that came straight off the farm. Mm-hmm. And I go, and I want to thank my hubby. And I tell you, I got 12 or 13 go to hell looks just instantly.
Jeez. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's that boggles me. Like how it's just
it's just people.
That's just how it is.
South,
I don't even get mad at that's just people.
Yeah. Get with the times, man.
Did you know? Did I tell you that Craig Woolheater apologized to me?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know whether I told you or not. So, Bob, I listened to the show.
If you don't tell me, you tell me in that.
But because I was actually going to apologize to him, but he beat me to it, and because I tried to apologize to him before I think it was at the Atoka Bigfoot conference that was running by Mike Hall. And he refused to shake my hand then. He goes, I'm not shaking your hand. I go, you sure? And I got real close to his face. I go, you sure about that? All right, it's the last time I'm gonna do it. All right, see you later. But anyway. But yeah, we're friends now, so we can drop that act now. But I was gonna ask you, man, how do our listeners find your podcast, and how do they find you on social media if that's what you want? But
Absolutely not. I accept no more people. I have too many. I'm too popular as it is. You can find 3 minutes. You can find Logan versus Kenny. You can on Spotify, Anchor, the Apple, whatever Apple is, iTunes.
Yes.
iHeartRadio, everything like that. That's where you can find, 3 minutes and Logan versus Kenny. I stopped making LVE for the simple facts. Well, two facts. The first one being I don't have the time and I don't have the budget. I will put 12 hours into editing one Logan versus everyone video.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep in mind that the average episode was about an hour to an hour and a half long.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't have the time and I don't have the money to be, going around and doing all the stuff that I was doing for those videos. But the other reason is I started noticing that all of these Bigfoot YouTubers popped out of nowhere trying to get their 15 minutes and trying to get famous. And almost every single one of them ended up being what you would expect, a chauvinistic, we're trying to make money real quick person.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, throw myself into that pot, if you will. But if you want to go watch the episodes that are still, up on YouTube, if you look up the Cryptid Connection YouTube channel, you can find those episodes, and you can find anything that we do for Cryptid Connections, like the podcast or just a random video or something like that.
Okay, nice.
And then TikTok, if you want to see me, just be me as Logan versus everyone on TikTok, or just look up Logan Craft on Facebook,
I have to follow you. I don't, because I have a TikTok and I have to follow you.
I'm in the process of doing a grow your own Bigfoot right now. I think it's fully grown at this point.
I love it.
Grow your own Bigfoot. I like that.
I put it in a beer mug originally, and I called it Beerfoot, and then he got too big for the beer mug, so now he's in a pot.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
I like it. Hey man, thanks for coming on, dude. I really, really appreciate this.
No problem.
Are you gonna? I think we need to get you on Bigfoot Crossroads again too.
Sure. I'm long-winded. I can talk for a long time.
I'm speaking for Matt now. So.
You mean Reginald Nappers?
Yes, Matthew Reginald Bartholomew Nappers.
I love how he just ran with that. And so, I'm talking about Logan. I love how he just ran because
he did the memes, right?
Yeah.
So he was just, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Especially the PS5. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I posted on I think my Facebook page. A lot of people don't know that, but like we did a show with Matt, and like we were pretending like Matt was so fancy, so we called him Matthew Reginald Nappers, and I told Logan about it, and Logan was making these memes like left and right, and it was like he was sending them to me, and I would send them to Matt. I go, this is hilarious. So
I know Matt enjoyed it too because you were sending them to him, and then I would turn around and send them to him, and he would just send me back, ha ha ha.
Oh, ha ha ha.
So he has such a great sense of humor, and he's such a good dude too. I mean, I talk about him all the time. So
yeah, he's definitely has a really good sense of humor. I think that's why me and him clicked.
I think a lot of people don't. I mean, because like in the past, because like if you knew Matt in the past, like I've known Matt a while, and he was like, he's like just one of those people. He's really articulate about stuff, and he would just shred people left and right on like Alabama Bigfoot forums and stuff like that. He would just tear people up, and a lot of people didn't like him, and they thought he was mean or he was too cruel, he was too honest or something like that. And I loved him for it. So I don't know. I just always liked Matt, and he's always been funny. And
you have to do that in that field, though. In this field, like
true.
you have to be honest.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's getting harder and harder to do that.
Well,
And
for
not even
too.
not even in like a bad way, but like you can't sit there and tell me that you saw a pink Bigfoot riding a unicorn and he only had like 3 toes on his left foot Like somebody's got to sit there and be like, "Hey,
That's
not
sound
right."
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
So what psychedelic drug you were on? Yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, we're gonna question it. You have to question it.
Yeah, I think I see it because I kind of see it this way, Logan. Is that like Bigfoot Club is like I call us like the Sports Illustrated of the cryptid world, and so we used to do it. We don't do it anymore, and now I just talk about it and people tell me, hey, I did this. Like, yeah, you know, I did that 20 years ago. So
whenever before it became
like
cool.
I don't have nothing against like the speakers that go to conferences and stuff. I think that is cool. I mean, that's cool for people who are getting into Bigfoot or they want interest. And I don't want to sound like High and Mighty or High Fidelity or whatever. But I don't really listen to the speaker. There's a few speakers that I haven't heard, and I'll sit there and like listen to them. But everybody else, I already done that. I've done it. I've seen it.
Yep.
I've done more of it. So I don't want to sound like an asshole or I mean, I guess I am being an asshole about it. But
I mean, you just like, okay, I already heard this like 10 different times from 10 different people. Like,
That's most of your speakers you can sit down and listen to, and if you listen to them in January, that's going to be the same thing they talk about all the way till December.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so
I love this guy.
I mean, that's just the nature of it.
Yeah.
You don't throw a conference and bring in somebody that has great stories that nobody's ever heard about.
Yeah.
He doesn't pull in money. You're going to bring in the one guy everybody knows by name that's going to tell a great story that's been told 17 times before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a comedian.
Yeah, I think at the Mineola conference, and there's nothing. This is no shot on anybody. I'm just saying this. The only person I listened to was George Jones and what's his name, Alan, the UFO guy.
Oh, Daniel.
Yeah, I listened to those two, and then I walked out because everybody else I've heard before, and it's okay. I don't need to hear it again. I just need to go interview some people, and maybe talk to Logan Craft.
Yeah, let's talk to Logan Craft.
Talk to Big Dog.
And then I would walk by you real fast, and I would yell obscenities, flip you off, and then go into the building.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then talk to Big Dog.
Yeah.
I told him that he's got to change his theme song to Roman Reigns' song.
I'll send it to you. I actually made him an intro a long time ago, or just like a little promotional video.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember if I used Roman Reigns music on his. I can't remember.
Because I told him, I go, dude, you got to use it because you're the big dog. I got to change. I got to get him to do it. I don't know.
Is it the Shield theme song?
No, it's like he has a brand new song now.
Oh.
So it's like I like it. I don't know. It's just me.
Logan, I don't know if you know, but I kind of gave up on wrestling a while back. It's just
he didn't like. What was it? It was what was the name of that group that you really hated? It was
that kind of just pushed me over. I was like, okay, I'm done. It was the NXT guys. They had Daniel Bryan, Dave Otunga.
Yeah.
It wasn't. God dang it! What was his name? Husky Harris.
Husky
Harris. It had a bunch of those. And
Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett was on there. Like it had a bunch of them, and they kept pushing it to where they're the big dogs over John Cena and Kane, and I'm like, okay. I think I'm done.
Because Steve and I would watch it all the time, but once that happened, he goes, I'm done. I got to walk away.
Yeah, this is just too much. And then they were still there, and I was like, okay, great. I'm still going to keep staying away. And then, I'm just, the only reason I'm up to date is because Robert would tell me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. I wish I would have watched that. And then I'm like, okay, let me start watching it again. And then there's Sami Zayn.
Yeah, he hates Sami Zayn.
And I'm all like, okay, this is a reason
you don't like Sami Zayn.
I do not like Sami Zayn. I think
Let me tell you, I'm not a fan of how they're doing his character in WWE, but in Ring of Honor, I loved him. I loved Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is great.
It's just WWE doesn't do their people justice.
No.
They don't. And it's a shame because I was telling Robert, I was like, you have what's his name? It's not Husky Harris. They changed it.
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Like he was doing so well. Everybody knew his character, And I was like, okay, I can get behind this. And then they're like, oh, you know what? We're gonna let him go.
The Undertaker loved him a lot too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was like the sister was Sister Abigail.
Sister Abigail.
Yeah, like okay, that's original. That's something that very good move. I'm all for it. And then the same thing with Kevin Owens too. I like Kevin Owens' his persona. He's got the it factor of being a bad guy. He's easy to hate. Great wrestler. And then there's Sami Zayn. There's Sami Zayn who looks like freaking Fidel Castro. I'm like, oh, okay, this is okay. I'm done.
Imagine one day you just tune back in the WWE and you see El Generico come out instead of and it's like maybe, and then he just takes off the mask and he's like, I thought you thought.
Yeah, just yeah. I just can't with it. Like I'm interested in probably going to AEW though. Like that. Yeah. That looks like it's got CM Punk and Chris Jericho and what's his name? It's not Daniel Bryan. He goes by his real name now.
Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson.
And then what's his name? Moxie Cotton, whatever his name is.
John Moxley. John Moxley.
John Oxycontin.
Yeah. John Oxycontin, and then there's Johnny Elite now.
Yeah,
I think Johnny Elite was just a one-off deal for right now.
Yeah, I think. Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in AAA most of the time.
I'm gonna tell you, my favorite person in AEW right now that's actively wrestling is Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
I love Jay Lethal, but they buried him. There is like almost no repairing what they did to Jay Lethal at this point.
That was too quick of a turn, man.
Yeah,
it was too quick of a turn, and the most interesting right now, and you and we've talked about this off show. The most interesting thing right now I'm interested in. I know you said as well is Hook and Danhausen.
And Danhausen,
yeah.
Hookhausen.
Yeah, that's
the guy that paints his face, right? And
yeah.
Okay, I actually like that character, and I like he's a good gamer. Like he knows his stuff.
Yeah. Are you a gamer, Logan?
I used to be. I sold my PS4 to the mayor, and I've never had a gaming console.
What the hell?
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah. I sold my PS4
to the mayor. I was
sitting
here at my house one day, and I had a trip coming up, and I needed exactly $200 for this trip. And I get a random message from the mayor, and he goes, "Do you have a PS4?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll buy it from you."
Wow.
He goes, "Lightning hit close to my house and fried my PlayStation, and now I can't play Call of Duty. So I want to buy yours."
Okay. What if he didn't want to sell it, though?
I go, "How much will you give me?" And he goes, "I'll give you $200, or I'll give you a Arctic cooler."
Nice.
And I go, I guess I'll take the $200. But in retrospect, I probably should have took the cooler because I could have sold it for more. It was one of those big ones.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Oh, well.
See, I'm going to start something called Only Frowns.
Only Frowns?
Okay. And it's just going to be me frowning. I'm going to post like a picture a day. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a $10 subscription. Now, if you send me like $20, I will frown at your item of choice.
Nice.
If you want me to frown at your ex, send me a picture of your ex and I'll print it off and I'll frown at it for you.
I like that idea.
Only frowns.
I like it. Logan, thank you for coming on, man. I really, really appreciate it. We're gonna call it. I think this is enough for a show. It's a minute and 22 seconds, so I think I can make a show out of this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on. It was fun.
Man, it sure was. I'm sorry it took so long to get you on, man.
No, you're good. I'm never in a rush. I'm on like Hawaiian time, but like extra slow Hawaiian time.
You're on call tonight. Where where you're not?
Oh yeah, I'm on call till next Friday. I never get off work.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Gotta get that money, man.
All right, brother.
I wish.
I appreciate you, man. I really do.
No problem.
All right, Ben. Later.
See ya.